Hi everyone. Hey, it's Chef Todd Moore. I'm making chili. You want to join me? Figured we'd get online. No, notice I'm calm tonight, right? I'm not like the normal, hey, Chef Todd, just making chili. You know what? Actually, what I'm really making is a point. I'm going to make chili, but what I really want to make is a point. And I'm making vegetarian chili today because vegetarians, they are all up in my chili lately. I don't know how to put it. So I'm hoping that my vegetarian chili and about 60 other vegetarian dishes that I'm about to make up just off the top of my head in less than 30 minutes is going to calm down the people that are calling me a chicken killer lately. All right? I demonstrate basic cooking methods. That's the whole idea. Sometimes we do it with chicken because, to me, chicken is a blank canvas, right? And you can always substitute tofu or tempeh. I mean, that's the whole idea of cooking by method instead of recipes, is that it's nothing but substitutions when you keep the method. And if you're on the internet calling me a murderer because I cook with chicken, you're kind of missing the point. So, to be fair, I'm going all vegetarian today, and you meat eaters, you can go ahead and imagine that you put beef or chicken in it, right? It's a little turned around today is what it is. So what I wanted to talk about is that everybody can make their own version of a stew or chili, right? Everybody, no matter who cooks or doesn't cook, you can make a chili. And I've made a vegetarian chili to prove my point today, because the idea that I want to discuss with you is that you can take a simple dish that you already know how to make and turn it into 60 new dishes. Now that sounds crazy, right? That sounds like such a big promise, but by the time I'm done, you're gonna go, oh, well, of course. That makes absolute sense, because what I've identified as one of the biggest challenges for home cooks is breaking out of the cycle of eating the same thing again and again. I hear it all the time. The biggest lament in emails I get: Chef Todd, how do I make something new? How do I make something exciting? So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today, because again, I'm making chili because I think this is the most approachable, this is the most widely made thing that I could make my point with, that it's going to go into 60 meals, okay? So you can copy what I'm about to do with any dish that you make. Anything that you do again and again, any dish you can make into 60 meals, okay? So I'm gonna prove that you can take a dish you already know how to make, change a few things, create something new. That's the whole idea, okay? So let me show you back here. Here's my chili. All right. Here is the chili that I've been making. It's got black beans, garbanzo beans, it's got red beans, I think diced tomatoes, a can of diced tomatoes is easy enough. Red peppers, I put sun-dried tomatoes, onions, garlic. All right, this is the foundation of what we're gonna talk about today. You put it in a bowl, okay, just take this chili, put it in a bowl, and you've got one meal. There it is, count as we go, one meal. But, you know, I started thinking that every culture that I can think of has something where they stuff something in something else. Now think about this. If you want to cook in a worldly fashion, you've got, crepes in France. Put something, roll it up in a crepe. Tortillas, burritos, tortillo, if you want to put the two of them together. My Spanish lessons aren't working real well. Tortillas or burritos, you know, in Mexico and Latin America. You might have wonton wrappers in China. You got nori seaweed and rice in Japan. Phyllo dough wraps something in Greece, ravioli dough in Italy, you've got samosas in India, or naan, you got puff pastry and all kinds of doughs in the United States. My point is, everybody stuffs some kind of food into another kind of food. So if you want to take a dish that you already know how to make and turn it into something entirely new and exciting, steal that idea from another country. And what I happen to just have here, oh, voila, voila. It is, what do you think? It's a crepe, okay? Just happen to keep crepes around in my pantry. Now, I made this crepe a little bit earlier, so here's the first demonstration that I want to make for you. I take my vegetarian chili, all right? My vegetarian chili. Here's the crepe. Let me get a spoon instead of that stirrer. All right. I'm going to put a little bit of my vegetarian chili in the middle of that crepe. We're gonna make this French, so we'll add a little bit of rosemary to that. I like to crush it in my hand, give it a nice aromatic sense to it. Rosemary and thyme is gonna make me think of a French dish. A little bit of thyme on there. Oh, I'll tell you what else we can do. Ooh la la! Some chèvre, some goat cheese. We're gonna put right on top of there. I will seal that. If it doesn't stick to the plate, here we go. All right. Now you can warm this in the oven to melt the cheese if you want. We can give it a little garnish of thyme just for a contrast of color. And there is our first dish that was using the vegetarian chili that we now went French with. Suddenly, my vegetarian chili is ooh la la French vegetarian chili, okay? Cool. Now what is that? 2 meals that we got. Are you still counting? I'm not going to do them one by one, all right? This would be a 4-hour live. But what did I mention also? Oh, take a trip to Greece, right? And I mentioned adding feta cheese, or I would use oregano or marjoram. So let me show you how I do that very quickly, because not only do I have crepes on hand, but I also have some prepared phyllo dough that I've been keeping in plastic wrap that it doesn't dry out. Phyllo dough, all right? I brushed some olive oil between the layers of the phyllo dough. Here is my vegetarian chili again. Let's do the same type of thing. Oh, you know what? I want to make this even thicker. Let's go ahead and fold that in half so I get even more layers of phyllo. We'll do that, okay? So half of it. Here's a little bit of my vegetarian chili. What did I say? Oregano. Where's my oregano? There it is. See, oregano. A little oregano will give it a little bit more Greek flavor. Oh, and the feta cheese, right? That's what, let's crumble just a little bit of feta on here. Oregano and marjoram or tarragon. Give it a little bit of a like licorice flavor. I'm gonna wet my finger. I wet my hand. Let's wet my hand again because it wasn't wet enough. And I go around with my wet hand around all the edges of the phyllo dough. All right, you could do an egg wash if you want. You could do olive oil. Water works just fine. Seal the edges. Okay, see how I get them all wet? Get them to dissolve kind of together with the wetness on my hand. If you have to rinse your hand again, and do it again. There we go. Let's brush a little olive oil on there to make it brown a little bit. Just a drop. And one of the best tools again is just with my hand. Let's get a sheet pan and a piece of aluminum foil. You can hear the sound effects. Right? I can't keep switching cameras for you. Let's take our phyllo dough. Okay, this is the Greek incarnation. We're going to slit some vents into that because that's going to get hot as it cooks. Just 2 little vents that way. I'm going to put that aside because I got another surprise for you. So where are we? We're in Greece now. So I took the very same vegetarian chili and I put it in phyllo dough with some feta cheese. All right. Let's go to India. I've got some curry seasoning here. I've got naan. There it is. Back there, some naan. And I'll show you how we make a nice Indian lunch out of a vegetarian sandwich. Now, again, if you're not meatless, okay, I'm focusing vegetarian today. If you're not meatless, go ahead, add chicken masala to this. Add a shawarma, chicken shawarma. Oh my goodness, that would be so amazing. I'm gonna put a little bit of the vegetarian chili on there. I've got some rice here, some nice jasmine rice that was cooked and cooled. Let's add some rice to it, our curry powder. There we go. Ooh, I hope I don't use too much of this because it is really strong. Ah, there we go. That is the wrong way to shake that on. That's way too... Let's blow some of that away and shake that off. Now, we can roll this up. And you could heat that if you wanted to, but you've got a gyro type thing, a gyro type thing with Indian naan and some nice spices that makes that an Indian dish. Where should we go to next? We're traveling around, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, okay. Well, let me stop and ask, have I made amends with my vegetarian friends? Is it okay by now? You know, I've always said that what you cook, you know, what you choose to eat doesn't change how cooking works. So if you see me cooking chicken, just change it to something that's right for your diet. If you see me making vegetarian chili and you want to add chorizo sausage to it or something. Ooh, that's a really good idea. Let's go back to the countertop because now what I have are some tortillas. Tortillas that I've been keeping in this plastic bag so they don't dry out. I always put pieces of paper between them so that they don't stick. What are we going to do now? Take some of our vegetarian chili on our 2 tortillas, right in the middle that way, right in the middle that way. All right, what should go in there? I mentioned chorizo sausage. Sorry, vegetarians, I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it anymore. But everybody has the ability to cook for what's right for their diet. That's the thing. I don't make any judgments about this. You can do whatever you want. As I've said before many times, I just want you to cook at home. I just want you to cook your own food at home. Vegetarian chili with chorizo and some shredded cheese. Let's roll this up into a nice burrito that way. Roll this guy up into a nice burrito that way. We'll set them aside. This needs to be really taken care of. Here's my glass dish. Oh, who happens to have a really nice white sauce sitting around? I do. Might have gotten a little too hot on the stove there, okay? So this is a cheddar cheese white sauce that I made previously. Burrito, más salsa de queso, por favor. Woo, yeah, man. All right. That is going in the oven for my dinner. All right, because that was easy enough. Look at that. Same thing with the vegetarian chili. Let's get this in the oven as quickly as possible. Okay, so where are we in our travels now? Where's my towel? That's really the question. Where are we in our travels now? What else should we do? We forgot America. We forgot USA. How else can you do it? Well, I've got some puff pastry back here. I'm going to make you dizzy with switching the cameras, but check this out. Here's some puff pastry that I had put in plastic wrap that is always impossible to open once you wrap it. Oh, there it is. There's the beginning. All right, we have fun with that. Okay, so here's some basic puff pastry. Let's get out the vegetarian chili. Look how I portioned that out perfectly. It is almost all gone. The last scoopful is going to go on there. Since I'm in Baltimore, everybody knows beautiful downtown Baltimore, Maryland, I'm going to add shrimp. Pieces of shrimp, and say it with me, boys and girls, everything gets Old Bay in downtown Baltimore, Maryland. Same type of thing. I'm going to wet my finger or use an egg wash or a fat wash like olive oil. Wet my finger, go all the way around. Let's seal that up. A little overstuffed. Okay. Roll those edges. Seal them tightly. Roll them up. Oh, it's getting sloppy. The beans are coming out. More water. More water. And as I did before, let's make some vents in this so it doesn't bust out. Here's our pan with the phyllo dough on it. Here is our puff pastry. Let's put the 2 of them in the oven as well. All right, and so where are we? Look at that. What did I do, right? That's 5 meals. Get my towel. That's 5 meals out of 1 veggie chili. Okay? But even so, I promised you way more than 5 meals. So let's forget about stuffing something inside something else while the puff pastry bakes, okay? So forget about this. That's 5 out of the 1 vegetarian chili. What if you serve this over rice? 6. What if you served it over quinoa? 7. Mashed potatoes, lentils, grits. Oh, how about a toasted or grilled piece of cornbread with that chili served over top of it, or a toasted baguette for that matter. Couscous, barley, wild rice, wide egg noodles, pad thai noodles, heck, ramen noodles, you know? Get your ramen cup, throw the flavoring out, just cook the noodles if you want, and put your vegetarian chili on top. Any kind of pasta, gnocchi, Indian paneer. Okay, so now that's 15 new ideas for serving 1 kind of chili. And if you make each of those suggestions that I just made earlier, okay, so couscous French, couscous Greek, couscous Asian, mashed potatoes French. If you start to mix all those things together, you get 60 new meals from one basic vegetarian chili. 5 styles times 15 different presentations and side dishes equals 60 meals. I told you you'd be going, of course. That makes way too much sense. And this is the easiest way to expand your cooking repertoire. Take something that you already know how to make, bring in all the seasonings, the ingredients, the wonton wrappers, the egg roll wrappers, you know, whatever from another country, and then the variety of what you cook explodes exponentially. And that's the way to do it. Let's look in the oven at what we put in before. Click, 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 tongs. Click, tongs, click, click, click. Okay. These are the two, oh, I can use this camera. Move the plastic here. Okay, those are the 2 things that we put in the oven. Right here is our phyllo dough, and there is the vegetarian chili and feta cheese inside. Heck, you want to see it? All right. Figured you might want to. Ow. Crispy. Look at all that. Ow. All right. I wasn't good with a paring knife, but look at that. Look what's in there. Don't you just want to bite into that? That's fantastic. And what if you poured a sauce on top of it? Or, you know, made that an appetizer? Let's see what the puff pastry looks like. Look at that. Where's our shrimp? I want a shrimp. There he is. There's the shrimp. Okay, so those 2 came out that way. I need my towel again. There we go. Look, if you had an aha moment today, you know, if you're starting to think about this, and you start to put certain styles, you take that one thing, if it's your favorite mashed potatoes, it's your favorite chili, it's your favorite stew, it's your favorite whatever it is, you borrow ideas from other countries and then you present it in different ways. This is the way to make one meal into 60. So this is what I wanted to share with you because this is what I was thinking about all day today. And I had a tremendous aha moment when I was like, oh my goodness, this is such a great lesson because I'm making chili. And if you had an aha moment today, you're going to love what I have got for you in this week's free online class. It's called 3 New Ways to Increase Your Cooking Variety That Anyone Can Do, but most of us don't. I'm going to put a link in the description below when we're done, but if you can't wait to grab your spot in this class, grab one of the early spots, go to webcookingclasses.com/variety. webcookingclasses.com/variety. Hey, thanks so much for cooking with me today, everyone. I love when we all get together, we all get to cook together because we all leave with new ideas and we all take steps forward. We move forward together on our personal culinary journeys toward becoming carefree cooks, and that never stops being cool. So, Chef Todd Moore reminding you that there's a method to your cooking success. Bye, everyone.